The big promise of the smart home is a life of effortless convenience, where everything just works. It's a world where your home knows what you need before you do, where all those little repetitive daily chores just vanish, handled silently by a crew of interconnected gadgets. What if you just trade the physical work of flipping a switch for the mental work of figuring out why a routine decided to die overnight? That's the dream they sell us in the commercials, right? The sleek, perfectly choreographed digital life. But what if the reality is a life of constant troubleshooting, of endless notifications and gadgets that refuse to talk to each other? The second your alarm is supposed to go off, it silences itself because your sleep tracker already knows you're stirring. We had devices from a half dozen different companies, each with its own app and its own weird quirks. But the industry has a supposed silver bullet for this. Universal standards, especially Matter. Matter is meant to be the one language that lets devices from Apple, Google, Amazon, and everyone else talk to each other directly, all from one app. I say, "Hey assistant, close the living room blinds." Simple. I've done it before. At least, that's the idea. We painstakingly connected every device to our main hub, building out routines that linked motion to light and time to temperature. It's a delivery driver with a package that needs a signature. I switched to the Smart Lock app, and it's just loading, and loading, a force quit, I restart. Nothing. By the time I give up and physically walk to the door, the driver is already heading back to his truck, slapping a "sorry, we missed you" sticker on the door. The very convenience I paid for had just made my life demonstrably harder. And welcome to the first circle of smart home hell, the mysterious disconnect. A good night routine would lock both doors, check that the garage was closed, kill every light in the house, and arm the security system. Knowing all of that was done with a single phrase, got rid of that nagging last minute, "Did I forget to lock the back door?" anxiety. These practical security-focused uses are where the smart home delivers real value, way beyond just being a novelty. The main lights would dim to a warm cinematic 10%. You trade the predictable, physical work of daily chores for the unpredictable, mental work of digital maintenance. Instead of turning a thermostat dial, you're figuring out why your climate sensor disconnected from the hub. But the upfront cost is high, and it could take years to see any real return on that investment. Whether you need better security, a way to monitor a property remotely, or essential accessibility features, the smart home can be a fantastic solution. The industry is moving in the right direction. Standards, like Matter and Thread, are slowly breaking down the walls between brands, but it is still a fragmented and often unreliable mess. The dream of a truly effortless, it just works smart home is still just that, a dream. The gadget that caused more headaches than it solved. Let me know your stories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. It's an exciting, sometimes brilliant, and frequently frustrating experiment. Instead of brewing coffee, you're trying to figure out why the smart plug it's connected to suddenly forgot its schedule. The potential is massive, but the day-to-day reality demands a level of patience that, let's be honest, not everyone has. The moments are real, but so are the moments you want to eat a $50 smart bulb out the window, because it turn off. The biggest downside of the smart home is at the price the hidden tax on your time and your sanity. Automated lights based on motion and time really do make a house feel safer and more intuitive. The security benefits are huge. Automated locks and remote cameras provide real peace of mind. But maybe the most profound benefit is in accessibility. For people with limited mobility, being able to control your environment with your voice is beyond a luxury. It's a powerful tool for independence. The TV would turn on, the soundbar would switch to its movie mode, and even the air purifier would go into a quiet mode to cut down on noise. This was a complex dance between 4 different devices from 3 different brands, all working together perfectly. If you love solving technical puzzles, the smart home is a project that never ends. It was the kind of thing that made you feel like you were actually living in the future, and it turned a simple night into something special. One tiny glitch in one device triggers a domino effect, taking down completely unrelated automations. There are no clear error messages. You're just left guessing. Is it the Wi-Fi? Did the company push a bad update? But on that 7th night, for no reason at all, one light in the hallway would just stay on. Everything is taken care of, while this beacon of failure was shining down the hall, forcing me to get out of bed and go flip the physical switch. It's a system that's about 95% reliable, but that 5% of pure randomness is maddening, because it always seems to happen at the worst possible time. You enjoy the moments of perfect automation, while also bracing yourself for the next inevitable, inexplicable hiccup. It's a fragile truce where the tech agrees to mostly work, and you agree to tolerate it when it doesn't. Anyway, while I go try to figure out if my blinds will ever speak to me again, let's see if this whole experiment had any redeeming qualities. It would pull me back from the edge with a flash of genuine, undeniable genius. The evenings were where the system really came alive, not because it was perfect, but because the wins were so good they almost made you forget the failures. This is the fundamental trade-off. You outsource simple, physical work, and in return, you take on the deeply frustrating job of being your own, unpaid, 24/7 support. You're not just solving one problem anymore. You're a digital firefighter, putting out blazes on multiple fronts. The dream of saving time goes up in smoke, replaced by hours of troubleshooting. You end up on forums, watching tutorials, and arguing with useless chatbots, all to get a $500 set of blinds to do what a piece of string could do in 2 seconds. The device has power. It has Wi-Fi. But for some secret reason, it's decided to go silent. But in a home where everything is connected, rebooting the brain can set off a bomb. It was a complex web of if this, then that commands. But when it worked, it felt like living in the future. The automations were invisible, creating an environment that was truly responsive and honestly, a little bit magical. Then, as your feet hit the floor, a motion sensor cues your smart speaker to start a low-volume news briefing. So, we connected dozens of smart devices, lights, plugs, speakers, locks, you name it, and we lived in a fully automated home for a week. You're so focused on the amazing result that you don't see the frantic, clumsy mechanics happening behind the curtain. And in our smart home, it didn't take long for that curtain to collapse. The midday mess started with one simple request. We weren't just testing features, we were testing the entire premise. A notification pops up. The good morning routine has failed. Apparently, the reboot broke some kind of security handshake, and my entire morning automation was now busted. To fix it, the app needed me to manually sign back into my account. The goal was to completely eliminate that groggy, decision-packed start to the day. And for a little while, we actually pulled it off. We wanted to answer one question. Do these talking smart devices actually make life easier for a normal person? The results were not what we expected. 1. The automated utopia. A perfect morning. Our experiment kicked off with the dream scenario. We wanted to build that seamless experience, starting with the most important part of the day. The morning, picture this. 30 minutes before your alarm, the smart lights in your bedroom slowly start to fade in, just like a natural sunrise, to gently pull you out of sleep. Downstairs, the house is already awake. The thermostat, knowing your schedule, has warmed the place up. The smart plug on the coffee machine has already done its thing, and the whole kitchen smells like fresh coffee. A single command, good morning. And the kitchen lights brighten. The living room speakers start a morning playlist, and the TV shows your calendar for the day. This is the promise. Fulfilled, this is the convenience that makes millions of people buy into this tech. In moments like these, the smart home feels less like a pile of gadgets and more like a personal assistant that's actually saving you time and mental energy. 2. The midday digital disaster. Weird? I tried again. Same answer. So, I pull out my phone and open the app. The app says the blinds are unresponsive. When the hub came back online, the blinds were still dead. And now I had a new problem. This is the failure cascade every smart homeowner knows and fears. The issue isn't just that things fail, it's that you have no earthly idea why. If you have ever felt the soul-crushing despair of a gadget that simply refuses to work, or if you've had a smart home convenience spiral into a multi-hour project, please share your story in the comments. 3. The evening compromise. A glimpse of genius. Just when I was about to pack everything back in its box and go back to my beautifully dumb, analog life, the smart home would do something brilliant. The crown jewel of our setup was the movie night routine. But even these wins were shadowed by the constant threat of a glitch. 4. The final verdict. So, should you automate your life? After a week in our hyper-connected, semi-functional digital fish, it was time to answer the big question. Do these devices actually make life easier? A smart home doesn't make your life simpler. It just makes it complex in a new way. The biggest wins for us weren't the flashy tricks, but the practical stuff. So, who is the fully automated smart home actually for in 2025? First, it's for the hobbyist. The person who gets as much joy from building and debugging the system as they do from using it. Second, it's for the person with a very specific problem to solve. But for the average person, the one who just wants stuff to work, invisibly and flawlessly, in the background. We're not quite there yet. The road to a truly smart home is a marathon, not a sprint. So now I want to hear from you. What is the one smart device that has genuinely made your life better? The one you couldn't live without?